In Clipper Nation, Clippers in DC taking on the Wizards. Tip-off is just about an hour and 8 minutes away. We'll start the official pregame show here in 8 minutes. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Talk, the YouTube channel. Clippers Countdown, the radio show, plus it's on the YouTube channel. Starts in 8 minutes. Who's we got in here? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Clippers need to win this basketball game. They have to bounce back. They will be without Norman Powell once again. Powell stays out. Mo Bamba's back. Kobe Brown's out. Mio said LFG. Oh, you hear me fine? Good. Fine and dandy. Oh, that's nice of you, Joe. Appreciate it. Of course, if you're really thankful, there'd be a super chat here. But no, that's cool. I appreciate you. I'm also thankful for the Clippers. This will be our last game before Thanksgiving. I thought last night on Clips and Dip that they would hold out Norman Powell one more game because they're taking on the Wizards, and they shouldn't need him to beat the Washington Wizards if they play the right way. Washington Wizards have lost 12 straight, guys. They're in trouble. Deep, deep trouble. As they're in this perpetual rebuild over the last couple of years. They haven't been able to figure it out. So I'm excited to see what this Clippers team can do if they can bounce back. Link26 said, hey, game day. Jay said, let's go Clippers. Katie, it might be up too loud.
What? Oh, did you put that there?
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
I believe you.
That was too low. Just kidding, I think.
I quit. Goodbye.
Katie just quit, guys. She got in her TikTok on Carlos, Instagram, and social media, and now she's done.
Your nonsense has driven me crazy.
My nonsense has driven her crazy. Ray said, reporting for duty at 6:53 a.m. Where, in Bali? Norm is using this game to heat up before the Timberwolves. Well, he's not playing in this game, so I don't think he's using this game. As predicted yesterday, they're holding him out of this one. They should not need Norman Powell against the Washington Wizards. Don't overlook anyone, but if you can give a guy an extra day off on a hamstring injury, which those can be tricky, you do it. They're going to need Norm often. Yes, Robert, it's been said 3 times. No Norm tonight. Mo Bamba's available. Kobe Brown is out. I'm kind of thinking big Jordan Miller game. I might make him my player to watch. The Washington Wizards are dead last defensively. Everybody should be able to find their offensive rhythm against them, including Jay Miller. Let me get my notes up here.
This is a KTLA game or... G League. You can watch the San Diego Clippers.
San Diego Clippers are on? Oh, my God, Jay, thank you. Too kind. Appreciate you. Shows every day. You know what we do here. I'll have something for you tomorrow, too. Very, very kind of you, Jay. Appreciate it. Robert's got Jordan Miller going for 20.
Let's see if our friend Carlo's there.
All
Say bye to your friends.
right, guys. Pregame starts in 2. Welcome into Clippers Countdown. As your 11-8 LA Clippers are visiting our nation's capital today in D.C. to try and capitalize on the Washington Wizards, the team that owns the worst record in the league at 2-14. They've also lost 12 straight, and I don't think they're going to be able to wave a magic wand and change their standing in the Eastern Conference anytime soon. However, there was some wizardry last time out in Boston where the Celtics managed to hit 22 threes on the Clippers, including 12 in the second quarter alone, which tied an NBA record as the Clippers got beat down in Beantown on Monday night, 126-94. Here was Coach Lue on the team taking their worst loss of the season and that remarkable three-point shooting by the Celtics.
I think they got three threes by just advancing the ball after getting threes. Pritchard got 2 of them for sure, and we just got to be better than that. Other than that, I thought we did a good job, like getting the guys. You know, they made some tough shots, which we knew coming into the game they was gonna make the tough shots, but just staying with it. You know, sticking with it, and they were on fire, like I said in that first half. You know, started in that second quarter, and we just couldn't control them from the 3-point line. And they got going, got a lot of confidence, and they played well. You know, they played really well, and that's why they're the champs. You know, and so hats off to them for playing a good game, and that's about it.
So now the Clippers go from taking on the defending champs to the worst team in the league. That's like going from that home-cooked, made-with-love Thanksgiving feast with all your favorite sides to a microwave TV dinner on T-Day. But the Clippers cannot afford to sleepwalk through this game or show any of those tryptophan-like side effects today against the Wizards. Any winnable game where they are clear favorites needs to turn into a must-win during a season or they're still without their basketball magician in Kawhi Leonard. Tip time between the Clippers and Wizards from DC is just about 58 minutes away. Coming up, Coach Lue will be here, plus Lob Murray of The Athletic. But up next, it's your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. You're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in DC taking on the Washington Wizards. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Oslin. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. Still to come, you're going to hear from the head coach in Tyronn Lue. Now joining us from Capital One Arena is your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, my guy, how we doing? Yeah, this Clippers team, you said it post game that the best part about the NBA is you got another game coming right around the corner. They're taking on the Wizards in Washington. But I do want to touch upon what happened in Boston a little bit. It was the Clippers' worst loss of the season. They lost by 32. But I'll say this, Boston's just that good. I mean, the Clippers held them to, I think, one of their first 11 attempts from three in the first quarter. And then the second quarter, with the same level of defense from the Clippers, Boston goes 9 of 11 from distance. Some of it is just elite shooting and the defending champs. This is what they do. Now, we did talk about how the Clippers made a bit of a run in that third quarter, and Coach Lue touched upon it post-game, but it was good that they still maintained that fight. They got it down to 15. They could have packed it up. They could have lost by 40, 50 points, but they continued to play, and until Boston started hitting more three-pointers, they got back into it for a second. I thought Ivica Zubac did his thing when they were single teaming him, when they weren't throwing doubles and triple teams his way. He made them pay each and every time down, which that is a way this Clippers team has to play. He's part of their foundation, their identity. I expect more from Ivica Zubac tonight as well. Of course, it's tough to find bright spots in a 32-point loss, but we're doing our best here. And the Clippers only had 13 turnovers. That has been an area of concern. And after having 25 in a game, they have continued to chip away in the turnover department and get a little bit better there. They didn't lose the game just because they were turning it over and Boston was turning that into points over and over again. This Clippers team, it was mostly just about Boston getting really hot from the outside. They didn't beat themselves, I would say. He's Carlo Jimenez, your 11-8 Los Angeles Clippers taking on the 2-14 Washington Wizards in DC. Tip-off is just about 50 minutes away. We'll let Carlo go for now because he's got his one-on-one interview with the head coach and Tyronn Lue coming up next right here on Clippers Countdown on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in DC taking on the Washington Wizards. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. It's Clippers Countdown. Still to come, we'll go back in time. We'll take things back to 2017 in Clippers Rewind. But first, we head back over to your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez.
Thanks so much, Adam. Here with head coach Tyronn Lue before the Clippers take on the Washington Wizards. Coach, Derrick Jones Jr. is averaging 15 points in his last 3 games, but he's only hit 2 threes in that stretch. Where does that assertiveness come from? Is that something you guys talked to him about? Has he wanted to get downhill more?
Yeah, just attacking the basket. I think playing earlier in transition, rebounding, pushing it, but also playing in a short roll in that little pocket. The team with double teaming James or blitzing James, getting to that pocket and making the right play.
A game like Boston, where a team nearly sets 3-point shooting records, how important is it for the next game? Does it become more important to try to get on track just because of things were out of your control in that Boston game?
Well, like in that third quarter, we can take away both against an elite team like Boston. We should be able to do it tonight. And so my whole mindset was just make sure we take care of who we are and what we do. And so let's continue to keep building the same things we built in that third quarter. And we talked about it at halftime. And so our guys came out, they did that. And so now we got to have carryover going into this game tonight.
The last couple of games, the first play, you've got Zoo and ISO on the block. Why is it important to go to him early in contests?
Just try to establish a big early. They got to do all the dirty work, set all the screens, all the block shots, all the rebounding. So to come out of timeouts and establish him early and try to get him touches, I think makes him feel good.
Coach, the Wizards like to play fast. The Clippers have been excellent on the offensive glass this year. How do you balance those two things tonight?
Just make sure we're in the right position. Like when we go into the glass, make sure we're on the top side and not getting inside. We're able to get behind us and get out of transition. So I like our crashing. I like what we do. So we don't want to change for anyone.
Last two for you, Coach. You're 11-3 on coaches' challenges this year. Did you watch any film this summer? How have you been so successful? What's been the key?
The big screen we got. Gillian did a good job of having all the different replays at home, and just being able to see it from every angle, all the different angles, has been really good for us.
You played here in Washington. What's one memory you have that still sticks with you from your time here?
Playing with Michael Jordan. Yeah, having a chance to play with Michael Jordan. Guy I idolized growing up my whole life. And when I first got here, I was in awe just to be around him, just to have a chance to play with him. And so that was the biggest moment for me.
Thank you so much. Best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Coach Lue there pregame with Carlo Jimenez as we're just about 45 minutes away from tip-off. Clippers in DC taking on the Washington Wizards. And up next, we'll go back in time in Clippers Rewind right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Wizards from our nation's capital in Washington, D.C. Tip-off just 43 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we'll get your player to watch. But first, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind, back to December 9th of 2017. Almost 7 years to the day. Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, was at the top of the box office for some reason. It was at the bottom of my list of Star Wars movies, though. Rockstar by Post Malone and 21 Savage was at the top of the Billboard charts, and the Clippers needed a big shot late against who? Against the Wizards.
Johnson to inbound. Getting no timeouts for the Clippers. Gets it right corner to Williams. Double team. Dribbles away from it. 6 seconds. He's now straight away from the rim. Crosses over Beal. Fires a three. This is for the win. Oh, my goodness! 1.2 to play. Lou Williams, are you ready for your close-up? Clippers by 1.
Brian Seaman on the call there. Sweet Lou Williams dropping 35 in that game winner. And the Clippers 113-112 victory. Danilo Gallinari had 25 in the win. That was back at Staples Center, December 9th of 2017. Clippers in D.C. taking on the Washington Wizards. Tip-off just about 40 minutes away. And up next, your player to watch right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Get down. Clippers in D.C. taking on the Washington Wizards. Tip off just about, 38 minutes away. It's Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Osland. Get to me on Twitter, on X, at Follow Adam A. We got the YouTube live side going at Clippers Talk. Thanks again to Joe Rosenfeld and Jay for the super chats. Appreciate you guys in a big way. Thankful for you all. Coming up, we will get to your injury report, plus Law Murray of The Athletic will be here. But first,
this is LA Clippers basketball.
Watching this guy play right now is really something.
Players to watch.
I'm doing it. I'm going with Jordan Miller. You know, there was a different Jordan in D.C. for some time. We just heard about this from Coach Lue earlier. He obviously played with Michael Jordan back when he was a member of the Wizards. Jordan Miller almost had his career high with 10 points against the Boston Celtics on Monday night. Of course, it came in a 32-point loss. I'm expecting the Clippers to bounce back. Can't overlook this Wizards team, but I want to see the Clippers bounce back in a big way. And I think Jordan Miller is going to have a new career high. Currently, it's 11. I think he's getting 12 plus in this ball game. Jordan Miller shooting 41% from the floor on the season, shooting 30% from the outside, bringing energy though, getting to the free throw line. They can't stop him when he goes into attack mode. And they're taking on the worst, and I mean worst, defense in the league in Washington against the Wizards. Jordan Miller, my player to watch. Clippers taking on the Wizards. Tip-off is just about 36 minutes away, and up next, your injury report, and then La Murray of The Athletic right here on your Los Angeles Clippers audio network. Clippers in D.C. taking on the Washington Wizards. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. Tip-off is just about 35 minutes away. Coming up next, we'll have La Murray on from The Athletic. We'll get a Kawhi Leonard update from him. But first, let's get to your injury report. And as always, it's brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, download the app today and use code KLASC to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Jordan Poole is back for the Washington Wizards. He'd been out with a hip injury. That's big news for them. They have lost 12 straight. They could use his scoring. So the Clippers have to be aware. Jordan Poole is a guy who gets hot. He was the third Splash brother for a little bit of time. Last name Poole there before they traded him for CP3. As for your Los Angeles Clippers, obviously still no Kawhi Leonard. Mo Bamba is back, but Norman Powell remains out for his fifth straight game, dealing with that hammy. More on the update with Kawhi Leonard. Coming up next, we'll have La Murray on from Capital One Center in D.C. Clippers taking on the Wizards. I'm Adam Osland. More Clippers Countdown coming up right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Dollar doubles, y'all. Clippers in D.C. taking on the Washington Wizards. Tip-off is just about 30 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Oslin. This is Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we'll get you an NBA out-of-town scoreboard. Reminder, this Washington Wizards team, 29th offensively, 30th defensively. They are absolutely in the struggle, and the Clippers have to take advantage of any game where they are heavy favorites against the opposition in. Speaking of a big favorite of mine, that would be Law Murray of The Athletic. Do we have Law? Law, are you good? Stop! I thought I heard a mic move.
It's me, Adam.
It's Carlo. Can you give me an update on Kawhi Leonard? Can you let me know when he's coming back? I heard Coach Lue gave out some information the other day.
Yeah, no idea.
Law, where are you, my friend?
Law's, I won't lie, Adam. He's not an easy spot to get to. Law did say he was on his way 5 minutes ago. So.
Well, you want to help me out with this?
Oh, here he is. I see him.
All right. He just appeared as they're taking on the Wizards tonight. Tip-off just 29 minutes away. La Murray is about to join me here, as he will be with us on Friday as well. Yes, La Murray is booked. When the Clippers are on the road, believe that, La Murray will be here on the pregame show. At La Murray, the NU is where you can find him. And he is him. He is a reporter that is traveling with the Clippers on the road continuously. He's been doing it for years now. La, my friend, how are we doing?
Never let him see you sweat, Adam.
Not at all. Not at all. Let me just wipe my forehead here for a second. So I'm sweating like Patrick Ewing. Can we start with this before we get to tonight's game, before we talk about what happened in Boston? We did get an update from Coach Lue, kind of more of the same with Kawhi Leonard on Monday. But he talked about doing some box jumps, some explosive box jumps, doing some shooting. Is it safe to say at this point, Law, that he's not progressing as fast as they would like, considering when we talked, right before the season started, we were talking about he'll be back relatively soon. Well, this is game 20 of the season. Where has this moved things for you? Are we going to see Kawhi Leonard in December, do you think?
I think you got to flip a coin on that one. What I'm not going to say is that the multi-day break that the team will get next week that they absolutely need, because they haven't had one and will not get one all of November. I don't think that that's going to be an indicator that Kawhi is going to be coming back to practice. So I think we need to curb expectations on that part of things. That's something that I've been targeting, and that is something that if he does come back to practice next week, then that's a surprise. It's a bonus. Just don't think that's happening. But I do think December is a pretty pivotal month. I think that it's important that he hasn't had a setback. I know that word has been really loud over the last couple of months. And, T. Lue has definitely mentioned that he's basically been consistent about what he's doing. He is continuing to progress. He's continuing to do the things that they want him to do. There might be a little bit of angst, on Kawhi's part, because I feel like, rehab, especially when you're not around the team, is a little bit of a solitary thing. So there's that. But I think that the wins that the Clippers have gotten might have calmed things down a little bit. Obviously that wasn't the case when they got back from the Houston miniseries. Things weren't obviously as far as the fan base goes. I don't think things were great there. But I think the team just has in mind that they are determined to kind of let this thing go with Kawhi as far as playing it out and making sure that when he gets back, he stays back.
So do you think because they're 11-8, because they're overperforming right now, that gives them, I guess, a little bit longer of a runway with Kawhi? There's just no sense of urgency at the moment?
I got to be careful saying it like that, because, if they were 5-15, I think that would be worse, to be honest with you.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like them being 11-8 gives them something more to look forward to. It gives Kawhi more of a reason to lock in and keep, being patient, if you will, instead of feeling like, the season is slipping and his chances of making an impact have decreased. If anything, Kawhi is more relevant because the team is playing well without him. It gives you a reason to think that he can come back and get it together. But this is inflammation in the knee. it's a tricky thing because it's hard to just put a timeline on it. You know, a reporter in Philly shared with me and Joel Embiid quote dealing with something similar about how timelines are not to anyone's real benefit. You know, Joel was a lot more open about it because Joel, unlike Kawhi, actually talks during these times. But Joel pretty much was like, I can put a timeline on when I come back, a set date. And then I don't hit that date, and everyone's upset. Teammates probably are a little, you know, angsty because they think something's happening and then it gets delayed. We know how disruptive that can be. So I think the thing that has helped the Clippers players and the coaching staff by extension is that they're not kind of counting on Kawhi in the short term. They understand that they take care of their business and they lock into the roster that they have right now, and that should help everybody else out. I know that's unsatisfactory, but that's kind of where things are at because it's not like he's healing a bone, for crying out loud. It's dealing with an injury that we've already seen him come back, rush back from, and has some poor results from.
All right, we can move on from the Kawhi Leonard talk here and talk about what happened Monday night. This is a way better subject, of course. The Clippers lose by 32.
We had our first burn the tape game.
Is there anything you could take away, them fighting it all in the second half and getting it to 15 points? Is there something that this team showed you at all in that ball game?
Yeah, because T. Lue kind of took something from that, I'll take something from it, to be honest with you. I think the bigger picture is just going down 30 sucks, and they played really well to start that third quarter. They were locked in. The Celtics didn't make a three until after the timeout, right before the 4-minute mark of that quarter. You know, so if you can cut 14 points of a lead, that's pretty significant. It sucks that, like, that's only half of the lead that the Celtics built instead of being something that flips a game. Like if you're down 7 and you cut 14 points, like a 14-point differential, now you're up 7. That changes a lot of things. It extends your game. So it took effort. It took James Harden hitting the paint repeatedly. It took just that starting lineup being dialed in to not letting the Celtics get the looks that they wanted. Like they outplayed the Kristaps Porzingis unit to begin that third quarter. It's just that second quarter was an annihilation, and you know you're just not going to be able to even how the Celtics got the route back on. Like Derrick Jones Jr. gambles, right? He misses the steal. Jason Tatum turns and finds a wide open Peyton Pritchard. And not only does he hit that three, but Peyton Pritchard comes right back down. Guys' feet are inside the three-point line. He hits another three. Game plan stuff, awareness stuff. And next thing you know, you're down by 20 plus, and the fourth quarter is irrelevant. So all that you can do is bring some real attention to detail, and not to use a Kyle Kuzma term, but you don't want to be that team against Washington, a team that not only has lost 12 straight, but the 12th of those losses came last night against a Chicago Bulls team that hasn't exactly been all that hot either. So, you know, the Clippers do their job. They should be fine tonight, but you got to come with some respect for the game.
What do you know about Norman Powell? I know you were posting some video earlier. He's out tonight against Washington, but could you see him playing on Friday?
I probably could have played today, to be honest with you. He's on this trip. The last game of the trip is Friday. It's a pretty important game, especially given the NBA Cup situation. And so I fully expect Norm to come back Friday. Norm is just waiting on the medical staff to give him the go-ahead. Today was a progression because he obviously was ruled out ahead of time for every game except today. He was questionable today. He attended shoot around, but I don't think he participated in shoot around. Like by the time I left, he was still kind of chilling. That's not what Norm usually does. Norm is usually the guy who's in here before everybody else is in here. So I feel like Friday makes sense for Norm to come back. I think the Clippers gave him a lot of time. No one was ever too worried in the first place. And the fact that he was out here working with Sean Fine, getting some shots up, going through something of a routine, I think he's in great spirits. And we'll see what we get on Black Friday.
Clippers 3-1 without Norman Powell over the last 4 games, where Jordan Miller has gotten more playing time. What have you seen from Jordan Miller in this opportunity here, Law?
Well, I think Jordan's going to want to have a bit of a bounce back game. I don't think he was, he was part of that second unit on Monday that, again, I don't think they realized that the Boston Celtics shoot threes. So from a unit, from a team perspective, that group needs to be the one that steps up tonight. Jordan individually, he's going to get to the line. He's going to get to his spots, and he's been good defensively. But again, I think they all have to be better as a unit, and Jordan's a part of that. This might be Jordan's last hurrah for however long. So I'm going to see how it comes out. This is a bit of a homecoming game from him, being from the area, and that's exciting. I remember when we were in Washington in January last season. Paul George didn't play that game, but Brandon Boston Jr. got to play, and that I felt like was Brandon's best game as a Clipper in terms of relevant team, like not garbage time or not a throwaway game at the end of the season. Brandon has had games where he scored more points, but as far as contributing to winning, Brandon had his best game on this floor, Capital One Arena, in January, and I think that's what you should expect from Jordan Miller. I think Jordan should have, when what might be his last chance in a rotation for a bit, he should show that it shouldn't be his last chance.
If 3 hours from now we get the final score and the Washington Wizards somehow won this ball game, how could they manufacture that? What do the Clippers have to be concerned with?
They got to be concerned with the fact that they got two guys in Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma who love seeing the LA Clippers. It's just that simple. I think Tyronn Lue said before the game that Kyle always happens to get hot against them, especially to start games. I watched Kyle Kuzma get 12 shots up in a 10-minute first quarter stint against the Chicago Bulls. That dude is going to just jack shots up, and you just better hope that you're not on the wrong side of it. The Clippers are playing, I don't want to say they're at a talent deficit tonight, but you don't. Again, you can't take the game for granted. You have to be ready to go against pros, go against young talent. And the Washington Wizards, they run. They are a fast-paced team. So even though they are an incredibly mistake-prone team that has prolonged shooting droughts, again, they were up 10 against the Bulls to start the game last night. I was in the arena for some reason. So I really feel like the Clippers have to understand that the pace of this game is going to be one where there's going to be a lot of body movement, a lot of running, just a lot of activity. They're going to foul. They're not particularly good at when they foul, but they're going to try and do something to make up for, the fact that they've lost all straight. They're playing in front of their home crowd. It would be a statement for them in that locker room going into a holiday, going into Thanksgiving. Everyone wants to play well, and so the Clippers need to, again, have attention to detail and have some respect for the game and the team that they're playing if they want to avoid being the team that Washington snaps their losing streak against.
La, you staying in D.C. for Turkey Day, or are you going to be in Minnesota? And give me your favorite side.
My favorite side is probably cornbread. Thanksgiving is not one of my favorite holidays, so reason being, I'm trying to fly to Minnesota without incident. So I just want to land and be inside, man. That's all I care for. But happy holidays to you and everybody else.
Planes, trains, and automobiles. Get La Murray to Minnesota safely. La, thanks for doing this here on Clippers Countdown.
Hey, thank you, and enjoy the games.
Coming up next, we'll get to an NBA out-of-town scoreboard. Clippers of the nation's capital taking on the Washington Wizards. Tip-off just about 15 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in D.C. taking on the Washington Wizards. I'm Adam Osland. Tip-off's just about 14 minutes away. Coming up back to Carlo Jimenez, but first, let's get your drive around the league. Brought to you by Toyota's electrified lineup, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, all electrics, and even fuel cell electric vehicles. So you can choose exactly the type you need for your lifestyle. We make it easy. Coming up later tonight in San Francisco, the Golden State Warriors taking on the OKC Thunder. SGA getting 29-5 and 6 assists per game. Andrew Wiggins having a bounce-back season as the Warriors are 12-5, and he's averaging 18 points. Utah will be hosting Nikola Jokic, who's averaging a triple-dub, and the Denver Nuggets. Jokic at 28, make it 30 points per game, 13 boards, and 11 assists per ball game. Nuggets 9-7, Jazz 4-13. One more for you. Phoenix Suns took down the Lakers last night. They improved to 10-7. Kevin Durant's back. He's averaging 27 per ball game, and they're looking for a win at home over the Brooklyn Nets. Quickly, a little bit of an NBA standings check-in here. Clippers currently in the 7th spot at 11-8. They are 3 games behind the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are at the top of the West, but they're also only 2 games up on a team outside the play-in. The 11th seed currently is the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are 8-9. The Clippers will be in Minnesota on Friday for an in-season tournament matchup, and just a huge ball game all around. First off, though, you got to handle your business against the Washington Wizards. Tip-off about 13 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, Carlo Jimenez right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Washington Wizards from our nation's capital. Tip-off 10 minutes away. Let's get back out to your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. So, Carlo, difficult to figure out exactly where this Washington team could have an advantage, but the one thing they do that's very different than the Clippers is play fast, play at a faster tempo. Is this a game where the Clippers have to impose their will and be more methodical and slow things down?
Yeah, I think it has to be, Adam, because the Clippers are such a good half-court defensive team that the more you can slow a team down, the better you have an opportunity if you're the Clippers to get a stop on the defensive end. It's why the Clippers are one of the best teams defensive rebounding. It's why they're one of the best teams at keeping opponents without second-chance points. They get back on the defensive end. They sink the paint. They fly out the three-point shooters, and they use that length and athleticism they have, especially with that starting lineup with Derrick Jones Jr. and Chris Dunn. You cannot allow this young team for the Washington Wizards to get out and run. They will play 4 guys, Adam, over 30 minutes a game who are 20 years old or younger. I mean, this is one of the youngest rotations in the NBA, not a team overall, but in terms of the guys who actually play, the Wizards are a very, very young team. The Clippers cannot allow these young guys to run around them tonight, especially when they are so good in the half court. It would be one thing if the Clippers were a middle-of-the-road defensive team in the half court, but they're top 5 in the NBA in half-court defense. You need to play that strength.
One of those young guys will be the 19-year-old Frenchman, the number 2 pick in the draft. I'm talking about Alex Sarr. What have you seen from him so far this season, Carlo?
Yeah, he's been excellent. Somebody they've looked at as more of a defensive player. That's what their head coach, Brian Keefe, said. Look, the defense is number 1 for us. We want him to be lengthy. We want him to have activity, block shots, and offense is a cherry on top, in the words of their head coach. Well, he scored a lot last game, knocked down 4 threes, and came away with a career-high 20 points. So while his defense has been consistent, the offense hasn't been up and down, coming off a career night. Last night in this building, the Wizards played yesterday against Chicago here at home. We'll see if that offense carries for Alex Sarr, but a promising young talent at just 19 years old, 7 feet tall. And his last 2 contests, Adam, averaging 18 points a game on 54% from the field, playing much better recently as he faces the Clippers tonight.
And going back to the Clippers, it looks like right now Norman Powell's return is imminent. It's right around the corner. They're in Minnesota on Friday. So this could be another big opportunity for my player to watch in Jordan Miller. They're 3-1 so far without Norman Powell. Who are you going with as your player to watch in this one, Carlo?
I would love to see James Harden get a 30 ball. We haven't seen it all season yet from the Beard, and it feels like this is an opportunity against a defense that struggles at time in the Washington Wizards for him to really insert himself on the offensive end. I know he's probably not going to play a whole lot of minutes tonight if things go the way the Clippers expect them to go in this contest. So can James Harden be ultra efficient on the offensive end, continue to score the basketball? Adam, he didn't shoot a free throw against Boston after shooting 10 free throws in the previous 3 games. In each of the previous 3 games, James Harden, for this Clipper team to have success down the road when Kawhi Leonard comes back, still has to be that great offensive player that he's been known for his entire career. I would love to see him put up big numbers tonight.
Interested to see what he does, as well as Ivica Zubac coming off that 23-10 performance against Boston, 11 of 14 shooting. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but Big Zoo was rolling. If you single cover him now, if you put one guy on him, he's going to make you pay. Now, the Washington Wizards have a guy in Jonas Valanciunas who has been a Clippers killer, and he can stretch the floor and bring Ivica Zubac away from the basket. That's going to be an interesting matchup when both those guys are on the floor tonight.
It will be. And Valanciunas has only shot 6 threes this year, but don't tell a Clipper fan that because he hit 7 against them a couple of years ago. Just a ridiculous scoring output from Valanciunas, one of these veteran guys mixed in with a lot of young talent on this Wizards team. For the Clippers, it's a game where you just have to dot your I's and cross your T's. You can't allow somebody to have a good night who's not a good shooter. You can't allow open transition layups. You have to play the right way as if you're playing the Boston Celtics in the Garden on the second night of a back-to-back. The Clippers need to bring that same focus. What encouraged me, Adam, so much was when they played the Philadelphia 76ers, a team in a very similar spot as this Wizards group, and dominated from the get-go, set the tone. And we asked Brian Shaw about it post-game, and he said, that shows our focus, our level of seriousness coming into this season. Can they continue to show that level of seriousness and dominate from the opening tip? We know Ivica Zubac is going to get it going to his left on the near block right as this ball jumps. But can the Clippers continue to play through Zoo, play through their offense, and get good looks on both ends?
One of those guys who can be a wild card in a game like this is Jordan Poole, who returns from injury. Didn't play yesterday. Washington also on a back-to-back right now, a home back-to-back for them. But he's averaging, 21 per game efficiently, 46% from the field, 44% from the outside. This is the guy they were looking for scoring-wise when they traded for him.
Yeah, he has been somebody who they have looked towards as a leader for this team, and there's been a lot of talk about Jordan Poole's comfortability this season with the Washington Wizards. Brian Keefe has said he's been much more of a leader. He feels like he knows who he is within this offense. And not only has he played better on the offensive end, Adam, he's 4th in the NBA in steals per game. He's averaging 1.9 steals per game. So he is giving effort on both ends of the floor for this Wizards team. They traded for him thinking he could be the face of this franchise with this young core around him. Kyle Kuzma almost got traded last year at the deadline before Michael Winger came to him and said, hey, do you want to stay? Do you want to go? He ends up staying, doesn't go to Dallas. Who knows what happens if that trade goes through. But Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, the two top players with this Wizards team, and Poole has had an excellent start to the season, especially shooting the basketball. Remember, he didn't play against the Clippers last time they were here in Washington. It was a late scratch of that game with food poisoning. So hasn't seen the Clippers in quite some time. We'll see how the Clippers try to face up against one of the best creators offensively in the NBA.
Clippers in D.C. taking on the Washington Wizards. Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Tip-off just minutes away. And coming up next, we'll get your keys to victory right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in our nation's capital taking on the Washington Wizards. Tip-off moments away. Let's get to your keys to victory. Talked about it with Carlo Jimenez, but you got to make the Wizards play at your pace. Clippers bottom 10 in pace. Washington, top 5. They play at a much faster tempo. That's where they're comfortable. Make them uncomfortable. And as Carlo said, make them have to play against your half-court defense. That is the key to this one. Here we go. Carlo Jimenez on the call. Clippers and Wizards from Capital One Arena in our nation's capital in D.C. And tip-off is coming up next right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.